Welcome to Alaska Matters with Chris Story. To reach Chris, call 226-3933. 226-3933. Now, giving you something to talk about, here's Chris Story.
Hey, what do you think the occupiers really want? What do you think Occupy Wall Street, what do you think the people protesting in San Diego, Anchorage, Alaska, Kenai, Homer, Alaska, what do you think the people, or the person, I should say, occupying the tundra want? What do they all have in common, and what is it that they really want? Do they really want socialism? Do they really want communism? Do they really want fewer freedoms? I don't think so. Do they really understand what they mean by the death of capitalism? There again, I don't think so. I think they want significance. I think the common element, the one thing that unifies this entire movement, again, for a lack of a better word, the one thing that they all want and they all seek is something that everyone wants, and that's significance. They want to matter, and they want to be remembered and part of history, honestly. In their own words, I don't know what the solution is, but I want to be a part of it. Or the Occupy Tundra gal, quote, when I saw what was happening, I wondered, how can I get in on that? I'm convinced the one thing that unifies them, the one thing they truly want, is significance. And folks, there's a way to get it. It's called faith. It's called belief. It's called being a person of purpose, living on purpose, and knowing you're living in the greatest country on earth that people died for, and people are dying to get here, and people are dying to defend it. That's what we need right now. We need personal responsibility. We need to look within for the solution, and I've got something for them to belong to. It's called Occupy Prosperity. Occupy Prosperity is welcoming. We're a big tent, open arms, and we want everyone. So listen up today and even speak up. Call 226-3933. 226-3933, the number here at Alaska Matters, because your opinion matters. And if you think that I've got it wrong, you think I've got it right, you want to talk about what's happening with the occupation of your country, with these people out in the streets and what's happening, call right now, 226-3933. We want to hear from you and talk about it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and a whole lot of other great stuff. Remember, the email address, if you'd like to weigh in that away, is story@xyz.net. story@xyz.net. The number again, 226-3933. We do actually have a couple of listener emails from last week we'll be answering on the air in just a little bit, and a whole lot of other surprises. Remember also, Blackwater Bend Mind Bender coming up when we return, because that's your opportunity to win a free coffee card and much, much more at Blackwater Bend. Folks, don't go anywhere. Great program ahead. Remember, matters of importance are Alaska Matters.
The Caribou Family Restaurant looks great after their remodel, and is still open daily 6 a.m. till 10 at Lake Street and Pioneer Avenue in Homer, and open 24 hours daily in Soldotna at the corner of K Beach Road and the Sterling Highway. The Caribou Family Restaurant features prime rib on Friday and Saturday nights. Breakfast or lunch, any time of the day. The Caribou Family Restaurant in Homer and in Soldotna, open every day of the year, where friends and family meet.
Alaska Matters is brought to you in part by Blackwater Bend, keeping Alaska awake and perky for over 10 years. On the Sterling Highway, halfway between Homer and Anchor Point, your year-round headquarters for expertly crafted coffee and tasty treats. Make Blackwater Bend your coffee shop. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Bobby Triplett. I am a barista here at the Blackwater Bend. My favorite drink for the season is a raspberry spice chai. We are open from 5 a.m. in the morning, crack of dawn, till 7 p.m. at night.
An amazing opportunity in the heart of Homer awaits you. Deborah Lysick at Bay Realty wants to tell you about a prime location on Pioneer Avenue, a 5,600 square foot building with land to make your Homer dream come true. Make it what you need, business, home, or both. Deborah at Bay Realty is excited about the possibilities with this building and location. It can be a restaurant, a pizza shop, retail shops, newspaper office, bed and breakfast, coffee shop with lodging. The ideas go on and on. The half-acre yard in the back's beautiful and could be a pleasant outside restaurant or play area, or a peaceful resting spot for you and your guests. Remember, it's in downtown Homer on Pioneer Avenue, town center in more ways than one. The views are beautiful. Plus, it's a prime location on Pioneer Avenue and parade viewing spot. Call Deborah Lysick at Bay Realty for detailed information today at 235-6183. 235-6183. When you need results, Bay Realty.
If I could play the drums like Alex Van Halen, I don't think I'd be sitting here, folks. I tried playing the drums, and my parents, I don't know why they did it, but they got me a drum set. And it just wasn't pretty. And I got pretty good. A lot better in my own mind than I was in real life. You ever had that happen to you? Where you sound, you're playing a musical instrument and you just think you're rocking on, and then you decide to set up a little recording device, and you're like, yeah, man, let's record this, dude. This is my brother and I in 1980-something, and we're the next Van Halen, man. And then you listen back to it, and you're just like, what do you want to do now? You just realize you're a couple of losers in a basement. Oh, boy, that's funny. Hey, let's play some good tunes right now. This is the theme for Occupy Prosperity. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Even give some away.
I want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine.
Who doesn't want that?
Smiling next to Oprah and the Queen.
That's right. I love that Oprah and the Queen are clearly going hand in hand. You get that? It's like Oprah and the Queen. I'd actually rather have Oprah's money than the Queen's money, because you know why? Oprah earned her money, and the Queen was handed and continues to be handed her money and hasn't earned a prognickel, as they say. Oh, boy, that's funny. Occupy Prosperity is more than just a tagline here at Alaska Matters. It's really a lifestyle. It's a way of life. And I know that we're having a lot of fun with it. This is week 3 of the occupation. And the reason that it was born at all, and it could have just as easily been a stillborn child, but it wasn't. It was born with life and prosperity already built into the name, Occupy Prosperity. It was born out of my frustration. I'm thinking, I'm frustrated with these people. By the way, the number is 226-3933. I'm frustrated with what's happening in our streets. First, I see it in Egypt. We have the whole Arab Spring. Then we see Europe is on fire, and Greece, and people protesting in the streets. And what is going on in this world? And the next thing you know, it's happening in America. And it was just a matter of time before it reached Homer. I knew it. I knew that it was going to be just a matter of time before people within Alaska bought into it. And I think it's a minority. I think it's a very small group of people that truly lack something in their life that they're looking for. And this isn't a disparaging tirade on the people that are occupying Homer or Kenai. We were up in Kenai the other day, and I see them standing out there, and they look like they're having a good time, and they're holding up their little signs and so forth. I don't know whether they were wearing one of those masks or not, but they're having a good time. I think they really, truly believe that they're part of something, that they're part of something bigger and greater than themselves. And what's missing is that inner significance. And remember that capitalism is not a dirty word. We're a capitalist society. And what does that mean? Well, that means that we believe capital, innovation, prosperity, all of this belongs in the hands of the people that have earned it, not the people that take it from one and give it to another. It doesn't belong in the central hands of the government. We honestly and truly believe that capital belongs in the hands of the people that have earned it, and it should stay there. This is another argument that I could talk about till I'm blue in the face. Tax dollars. Tax dollars, when you get a tax break, it just means you get to keep more of your own money. I mean, it means that I get to keep a little bit more of what I earned. And that's one thing that I really want us, as part of Occupy Prosperity, to continue to harp on about. And that's the fact that our sales tax dollars, we get to keep more in our pocket. I heard recently that $3 million in reductions from 2009 to calendar year 2011, $3 million less has been taken in by the borough in sales tax, and they're attributing that loss, or that gap, if you will, to the reduction in the non-prepared food tax holiday that we voted in twice. 70% overwhelmingly we wanted to keep that food tax holiday in place. The $3 million is just gone from the borough budget. And yet, school is funded to what they wanted, according to Mayor Carey, and we have a fund balance of what will be $21 million by the end of the year. And what they wanted to do with the borough was keep it between 14 and 22 mil. Guess what? We've achieved it. Here's my question for you. Where did the $3 million go? So the borough doesn't have it. I'll tell you who's got it. You have it. You have it. I have it. We've got our $3 million, and guess what we did with it? I'm convinced, 100% convinced, we spent it. It didn't go anywhere. It's here on the peninsula, and I said that from the very beginning when some people were worried about, well, you know, the reduction in funds. Look, we're going to make more sales. People are going to spend that money. Whatever isn't coming in through the borough coffers, don't worry. It's going to be spent here locally on the peninsula and here in Homer. And I truly believe that $3 million did not vanish. Now, part of it probably was maybe fewer dollars spent over the course of those 2 or 3 years, and they're just not accounting for that. They're really looking at that reduction in the non-prepared food tax. But I honestly believe that the $3 million that wasn't spent in taxes was redistributed through the small businesses here on the peninsula. Speaking of small businesses, I want to thank Blackwater Bend for making this half of the show possible. We have now our Blackwater Bend Mind Bender. The number again, 226-3933, 226-3933. Call in and answer this question. You could be going to Blackwater Bend. Their local free coffee card. They're located halfway between Homer and Anchor Point at the center of customer service universe. If you haven't been to Blackwater Bend, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you've been there, you know that they're the Nordstroms of coffee. Job one at Blackwater Bend is service. There's so much more than a coffee stand. From road munchies to sweet rolls baked for a king, you're truly treated like royalty every single day at Blackwater Bend, defining bend over backwards service. And that's a fun name, too, because you can incorporate it in all kinds of marketing. I like that. Okay, here's the question. The number again, 226-3933. Here's the question. Who designed Alaska's flag? Who designed Alaska's flag? Call right now, 226-3933. We want to talk to you. We want to give you a free coffee card. And here's a bonus round. How old was he? See, already you know it's a guy. It's a young guy, if we will. 226-3933. How old was he is the bonus round, and you get a surprise gift. But if you could just answer the question, who designed Alaska's flag, we'll send you out to Blackwater Bend, and you can pick up your coffee card. Have you seen these commercials for Forever Lazy? This is like a full-body sweatsuit for what can only be described as what must be the laziest people on earth. This is, I think they even have footies. There's like a footed sweatsuit for the entire body, and it's called Forever Lazy. Dave says it's what they wear at the station. That's funny, but I don't think that's really what Dave would allow up there at the station. I was thinking, though, that this might be the wear of choice for Occupy Wall Street. That's funny. And we do have somebody on the line that would like to take a stab at answering the question and win themselves a free coffee card to Blackwater Bend. Hello, and thank you for calling Alaska Matters.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. Or good afternoon, I guess.
Hey, whatever. It's, you know what? It's time. It's a good time when we're talking about Blackwater Bend. Do you? Who is this, by the way?
This is Ray Chronic, and
Hey,
I
Ray.
stop at Blackwater Bend quite often when I go by there.
Nice. All right, so you know what I'm talking about when I say service, and I'm not making that up. That's real.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're right, Johnny, on the spot.
I like that. All right, Ray, for the bonus round, it's $1 million or a coffee card at Blackwater Bend. Who designed Alaska's flag?
Well, it was Benny Benson designed the flag.
Yes. Now, Ray, I don't want to date you, but did you also submit something for that contest in 1926?
Not quite, Chris.
You've been in Alaska a long time, though.
71 years.
Wow, you got me beat, Ray. You got me beat. And your family used to own the Homer Theater.
Yes, we built it in 1956.
Oh, did you really? Now, that's an interesting 1956?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's interesting. And I remember looking at pictures. My aunt graduated. I think my mom did, too. Graduated from Homer High. Well, I know they both graduated. They're going to kill me. But in other words, they held the ceremony at the Homer Theater.
Yes, quite often graduations, and, well, there was, you know, like they're doing today, there's community affairs were held at the theater. Quite a few of them. So.
Well, Ray, how old was Benny Benson? This is the bonus round. How old was Benny Benson when he designed the flag in 1926?
I honestly don't know exactly, but I think he was in his teens. But I could be either teens or early 20s.
You're exactly right. He was 13. I'm going to go to the judges on this one. Dave, was that close enough to say he was in the teens? All right, Dave says right on. So that means you win. And I'm sure out of the choice between $1 million and Blackwater Bend, you're going to go with Blackwater Bend card?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God. Okay, and you are going to get yourself, Ray, a free Occupy Prosperity T-shirt when they arrive here at Story Real Estate, which should be any day now.
Okay.
Well, you don't sound very excited about that, Ray.
Well, some aspects of that I agree wholeheartedly with, and some I've got reservation on.
Uh-oh. Care to expand on that? What do you mean? Reservation about Occupy Prosperity or the Wall Street people?
Oh, well, more the Wall Street and those that are protesting large corporations and that type of thing. Where our country is kind of evolved into where everything we do and everything we use is provided by large corporations. Mm-hmm. And of course, who are large corporations? They're stockholders, mm-hmm. and a lot of them are just commoners that hold a few shares that they hope might do something for them in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything, and I got to explain, Occupy Prosperity is the answer or the antithesis to Occupy Wall Street. I believe, just as you said, and I would go a step further, Ray, that not only are there shareholders, but corporations are made up of employees that make their living on what they do for the corporations. And so Occupy Prosperity is sort of my tongue-in-cheek answer to the frustration that I feel with the people that are in the streets that are protesting, as you said, corporations. Is there any part of the Occupy Wall Street movement that as a lifelong Alaskan you can look at and go, oh, I identify with that? Or do you feel that and you agree with me that they're barking up the wrong tree?
Well, in a way, they're barking up the wrong tree. But they are frustrated with how life has treated them and how they think it's treated us as a nation, as a society. And I don't really know whether they're, I'm sure they're not 100% right, but they're not 100% wrong either. So there is some good in the movement, and there's some off-base ideas there too. So.
Yeah, the one thing that I love about it, the only thing that I personally can look at the protesting and say, oh, this is something that I really admire, and that's the fact that they have the right to do it, and the fact that they're exercising that right. Fine, whatever, just don't be violent. But I really admire the fact that they've got the right to do it, and I hope that they recognize the significance of that right to protest.
Well, that's what, like you said earlier, there's been a lot of people die to maintain that, and there's a lot of people continuing to die to maintain that right. Yeah. And there'll be people die in the future to maintain that right, and that's one thing that we all have to realize.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you and your family for building that fine Homer Theater. Looking back to that long ago, did you think that would still be the only theater in town all these years later?
Boy, when TV came to town, well, we really held our breath. But
oh, is that right?
But it has persevered and has survived, and it's now the longest continuing operating theater in a location. It was built as a theater and has always been a theater, and that's kind of a testament to the community. Yeah,
absolutely, and some really forward-thinking chronics back in the day.
Okay.
I like that. Now, just a little piece of history before we go to the break here, Ray. Across the street, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the post office or the jail across from the Homer Theater?
That little building on the corner was built as a post office.
Okay, and was the jail next door?
No, it was a post office until the Don Jose building was built, and post office moved into there.
Oh, okay.
And then, since my parents owned the building on the corner, then somewhere shortly after post office moved out, well, the city moved in, and it was City Hall for a while, and then City Hall moved, I'm not just sure where, and then the jail moved in.
Oh, all right.
Well, it was both.
Excellent. Well, I'm proud to say I never was occupying a cell there. All right, Ray, thanks for calling in, and be sure to stop out at Blackwater Bend and tell them we sent you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much. Now, folks, stick around. We've got a surprise guest coming up in just a little bit, and we'll answer your emails, and I'll do a movie review in honor of the Chronic family. I've got a movie review that I must share with you to save you some money, time, and frustration. All that and more right here on Alaska Matters.
Now that it's colder and darkness has taken over, it's easy to let it get you down. But you know, one thing that really perks me up, how more and more people are lighting up their houses for the holidays, thanks to Christmas Decor by Dutch Boy Landscaping. Dutch Boy makes turning your home or business into a cheery piece of the winter puzzle, minus the hassle of having to find a good spot to base a ladder on ice, battle the elements, or scale that roof. It makes a lot of sense to rely on expert decorators trained in safety and proper installation methods. Christmas Decor offers customized lighting displays, garlands, wreaths, and bows. They can design the display, install it, maintain it. They even take down and clean up when the season's over. So if you've been dreading hauling out boxes and boxes of holiday decorations and the threat to life and limb it entails, maybe it's your year to leave it to Christmas Decor by Dutch Boy Landscaping. Find out more about brightening up your place with professional holiday decorating. Contact Danny at 235-7140. 235-7140. Christmas Decor by Dutch Boy. Call now.
Oh, no. I'm out of water. No problem. Call More and More, your locally owned water supplier. 24-hour service from your locally owned water company. Tired of working with an outside corporation? Want to support local business and get better service for less? Then put More and More to work for you. 235-8837. More and More is next door. 235-8837.
For Radio Realty, I'm Chris Story. In housing news, new home sales are up over 5% in September. Pending home sales are up 11% higher than this time last year. Interest rates are still at record lows. Rural development and VA zero-down loans still available. Inventory's ample. Alaskan home sales are up over this time slightly higher. Prices are slightly higher. I just couldn't find any bad news. For all things prosperity, listen to Radio Realty on KPEN 102 FM every Wednesday, number 1230.
Commit this number to memory, 399-1526. When you need snow removal, snow plowing, and sanding this winter, call Richard at 399-1526. Great Wire Construction, locally owned and lifelong Alaskan operated, can take care of all your snow plowing, snow removal, and sanding needs. If you'd like, Richard will deliver sand to your residence for your use when needed. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Great Wire Construction, 399-1526.
You're listening to Alaska Matters. I'm Chris Story, your host for Great Adventures in the Last Frontier. Our number is 226-3933. Want to join the program? 226-3933. Email. Feel like sending me an email. XY, no problem. Story at XYZ. STORY at XYZ.net. You want something to be envious? You want somebody to be envious of and to be jealous of? You occupiers of Wall Street, listen up. We've got Chris Brandon on the line. Hello, Chris Brandon.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm jealous of you. That's how I am. Chris Brandon, if you don't know, is joining me in lap of luxury. He is, in fact, the winner of the Homer Chamber of Commerce car raffle. Chris, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There's 426 people that would like to know where you are right now and if you've got the cash on you.
Nope, I don't have the cash on me, and I'm lost myself.
Okay, all right. You're lost. Man, what's the first thing that went through your head when you found out you were the winner and you had a choice between a vehicle, brand new vehicle, or $15,000 cash? What's the first thing that went through your head?
I honestly, it was surreal. I was at work when it happened. I wasn't even at the drawing, and I think the first thing that went through my mind was, well, wait a minute, isn't the person that wins the grand prize the last person drawn?
Right.
So I thought, it pays to be last sometimes.
Every now and then. I kept telling my gym teacher that during the quarter mile, and he just never bought it for a minute. But with you, it's real.
Yeah.
All right, so now you got a choice, or you already made your choice, but at that moment, you're thinking cash or new vehicle, and you chose the cash. Why?
Well, it's a Homer thing, I think. I needed the banjo.
Number one.
I had to pay for moorage on the boat, you know.
I hear you.
So, yeah, it was to keep having fun down here, you know. I figured the cash would come in a lot more handy than another car. I already had a Subaru at the time, you know what I mean? So,
well, that's a prerequisite to being in Homer, is having a Subaru.
That's what I thought, yeah.
You got to have at least one Subaru. And apparently a banjo. So you've got a boat. You need to pay for moorage. You planning on winning the Halibut Derby with that boat this year?
I'm going to work at it. You bet.
Well, you know what you should do? My son-in-law last year with Gregoire Construction, one of our sponsors of the program, he went out fishing on a lark, sort of. He picked up a small boat on a lark. He went out and won himself $3,500 during the Winter King tournament. So you just never know, Chris. This could be your year, man. Don't give up the streak.
I won't give up the streak. And that was 5th place, I believe, wasn't it?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, that's right. Way to point out that he's not a big winner like you. No, it's true. Yeah, 5th place, exactly. Hey, but you came in last, loser.
That's right. I'll walk all the way to the bank with a big smile.
Touche. Well, thank you for supporting the Homer Chamber of Commerce, because it isn't cheap to win. Those tickets aren't free, and everybody who bought one, big round of applause for yourselves, even though my guest here, Chris Brandon, is the big winner. All right, well, I know you've got some business to attend to, and probably some financial planners and people, realtors like myself calling you, going, hey, buddy, can I buy you a coffee?
And I'll tell you where you buy the coffee at. Just Petro Express. Every morning I got the same routine, so I'll meet you there.
All right, this is a nice little plug, too. Are you getting paid by those guys?
I will now.
You will now. You got a free cup of coffee coming to you, I'm sure. Thanks, Chris. Go out there and enjoy it, and wish you all the best.
All right, thanks.
You bet. Yeah, what a nice guy. Good for him. I like to see nice people win things. You know, one of my favorite things about myself is my humility. It's just one of my favorite things. I wanted to let that sink in for a second. All right. Listener email. Remember the address, story@xyz.net, story@xyz.net. Chris really enjoyed the show about the sign ordinance. I had no idea what was happening. Glad to hear someone's out there watching. That's from D. Well, you're welcome. And for D, we play this. Time now for the continued adventures of Walt Needy. Miss Goldfinger, give me Commissioner Grinch.
Yes, my lord.
Grinch, look at all these signs. I'm tired of these small business people. Who do they think they are?
Yes, my lord. As the economy declines, they will get more and more aggressive. I will stop them.
And get rid of those gaudy car signs. Do this quietly. I'm building my new city hall.
I have signs on my car.
Oh, all right, Grinchy. Miss Goldfinger, give me my color palettes. Miss Goldfinger! You see how much fun you can have when you just don't take yourself so seriously. But seriously, I want to remind you, thank you, Dee, for the email, number one, and number two, I want to remind you to contact the mayor. I want to remind you to contact Mayor Jim Hornaday, former Judge Hornaday, and let him know you're not happy about this new sign ordinance, and I'll tell you why I'm not happy about it. The commission did 3 things right, 1 thing right, actually, 4 things wrong, and missed 2 opportunities. So you add them up and do the math. It just doesn't work. They threw the baby out with the bathwater. I have the solution. Visit radiorealty.us, radiorealty.us, and you can read for yourself the solution. And it starts by congratulating the commission on what they did right. Because you can't always just go to your public officials and beat them up and say you're doing everything wrong, because they're not. They're doing the best they can with the information they have at hand. I can save you, 6 months worth of work. If you had come to me and said, Chris, how do you want to fix the sign code? Done. 30 minutes later, I've got a 3-point plan here that literally fixes the problem. They didn't do that. No, they didn't come to me or fix the problem. They, in fact, made it work. Now's our opportunity, though, to speak out to the council, speak out to the mayor, and let them know, please, if you take this issue up at all, visit radiorealty.us and give them the solution. And it's real simple. Fix the problem on the spit, which happened to be that small buildings on one property were not afforded enough signage, if any. And so, great, they fixed that problem. Rick Abood and his team did a good job crafting that language. That's good. I like it. What they did wrong was saying the sandwich board signs and temporary signs are illegal totally. Because right now, as the law exists, you can have them for certain periods of time, but they made them totally illegal. And the other thing they're doing is attempting to circumvent your due process. We talked about this last week on Alaska Matters, and it's still relevant today, a week later. We need to speak up and speak out about this because it's wrong. It just isn't right that if you want to appeal something the commission did that you feel is wrong, you've got to go to court now. You've got to hire an attorney. You've got to spend $250 an hour with an attorney, or maybe a little bit less. I don't know who you're going to find for less. And defend yourself when you're trying to carve out a living. You're trying to act as the city's and borough's tax collector for sales tax. You're trying to create a living for your family so you can stay out of the Poe house. And it's not easy when you're in a small town. I'm speaking from experience. Listen to Mr. Chronic. 56, since 1956. That theater's been carving out a living here. Don't think it carves it out on its own. It takes a lot of hard work from the owners, the operators, the managers, the employees. How many teenagers do you think have purchased their first car as a result of working at the Homer Theater, or any number of small businesses? Even small businesses that I've owned and operated here in the last 20 years, I've employed young people, and almost every single one of them, folks, would have violated the sign code all over the place. And you know what? I don't care. I would do it. I will flout this ordinance. Yes, that's right. We will rise up. But seriously, if the Homer Theater wants to put up a banner announcing a film festival, and no, that will not be a civic event, and I don't even think you can put a banner up for a civic event, why shouldn't they be allowed to? Ridiculous. Please, give your council people a call, and you can go to the city website. All their emails, if they've got them, are there. Their phone numbers. The mayor's very cordial. If you would like to meet him and his wonderful black lab, you can do that. Also, remember when the mayor was talking about not picking up dog poop? I loved that. I thought, man, where else but in Homer, Alaska, can you hear the mayor go on about not picking up his own dog's poop? I like that. All right, the solution for the sign codes at radiorealty.us, radiorealty.us. Also, you can listen to this program back there as well. Movie review. The movie we saw over the weekend was called In Time. Tiff and I saw this in Anchorage, and I'm telling you, they should have named it Leave the Theater While There's Still Time. I'd like a large popcorn, a 50-ounce soda, and 2 hours of my life back. I hate to say it because I'm sure that your little theater is going to run this film, and I'm telling you, run from this film. It's a false premise to start with. It's designed to lure children and moronic adults into believing that time, which is the currency of the future, is unfairly hoarded by the wealthy, and the wealthy don't distribute the time fairly. Oh, little thing called earning your time or earning a living. Ridiculous. We left it early, we're just like, we're out of here, it was crazy. But the irony is that the false premise that time/money is not distributed equally amongst the people is ridiculous. And secondly, the ironic part is that time is the great equalizer. Time is what we all have. Black, white, rich, poor, fat, skinny, Iraqi or American. We've all got 24 hours in a day. That's a great equalizer. That's what I love about time, is you can't buy more of it if you're wealthy. If you're poor, you can't steal it. Time is time. Dave, thanks for engineering the program. Can't believe it's already coming to a close. Goes quick. Thank you, Tiffany, for screening the calls and communicating with us. Thank you, Mr. Becker, for allowing us to use your air. Mr. Tim White, executive producer of the program. Nice job, Tim. All right, folks, stick around next week on Alaska Matters, a whole new topic. And don't forget to say a little prayer for Michael Jackson's family. I miss that guy. See you next week.
The Peninsula's home for unforgettable favorites. Great listening, 620 AM, KGTL, Homer,